Hey you guys, it's Ceevanna and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am still new to YouTube, this is only my second video, so if I do anything wrong just bear with me. I did get a new mic, so hopefully I sound okay. Today I'm going to be talking about how I highlight my Bible. When it comes to highlighting your Bible, it can be really intimidating, as you might not know what colours to use or what verses to highlight, and that's what I came up with a system for myself. This system definitely isn't original, and it's probably been done before by someone. And if you already know what you like to do in your Bible, that's fine, you go ahead and do you. But if you don't and you want some ideas, keep watching and I'll just show you how I do it. I've been a Jesus freak like all my life, and I used to struggle to know what colours to use to highlight my Bible, and I'd go to the shop, I'd buy a huge pack of highlighters and I would go crazy. I would just highlight any random verse in any colour, trying to use as many colours as I could, making a huge rainbow mess. And if you're someone that likes to do that, that's great. I used to love doing that. I think it's very creative and fun and very artsy, but now I'm older, I want more organisation and more meaning to the colours I use for each verse, and so that's why I came up with this system after doing lots of prayer and considering what kind of things I wanted and researching what other people do. So for this system I use 4 colours and a pen. As you can see, I use pencil crayons, but that's just my personal preference. I think it looks neater. You can use highlighters or whatever you like. The first colour I'm going to talk about is orange, which I use to highlight verses about love. For example, here I'm highlighting 1 Corinthians 13:4-7, which says, "Love is patient, love is kind, love does not envy, it does not boast. It is not proud, it does not dishonour others. It is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil but rejoices in the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, and always perseveres." I actually saw a thing the other day that talked about how you should replace the word love with a name. For example, if you wanted to know whether your crush was the ideal spouse, you could replace it with their name. Or if you wanted to improve yourself, you could replace it with your name. For example, if I was to talk about myself, I'd say, "Ceevanna is patient, Ceevanna is kind, Ceevanna does not envy," and so on and so on. And you want to strive to make everything you say about yourself to become true, to know you're truly showing love to others. The next colour I'm going to talk about is blue, which is probably the one I use the least. I use this to highlight verses about warnings and things like that. For example would be Galatians 1:10, which says, "Am I now trying to win the approval of human beings or of God? Or am I trying to please people? If I was still trying to please people, I would not be a servant of Christ." And I just think that's warning us to try and please God more than people. As you can see, the next colour we're going to be using is yellow, which is my favourite colour. I use this to highlight any promises, mainly promises God gives to us. The most common example of this would probably be Jeremiah 29:11, which says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future." And finally, the last colour is green. I don't use this one very often. I use the yellow and the orange the most. I think I probably do use this a little more than the blue. I'm not 100% sure though. I use this to highlight commands, for example the 10 Commandments, or another example would be in Matthew 7, where it talks about taking the speck out of your own eye before you take it out your brother's, so you can see clearly to help them, and lots of verses like that basically. Now moving on from the colours and onto the pen. A common problem I have is I'll go out to conferences or church and I'll take my Bible and I don't always have access to the colours I need, whereas I'll always have access to a pen. And if I want to take notes on a verse or highlight it, instead of underlining it in pen and having it stick out when I don't want it to, I'll write it down on the sticky notes at the front of my Bible, and then later when I have access to pencils, I'll go back to it and highlight it then. However, I do still underline. What I do is, if there's any verses that I write about in my journal, I'll underline that verse so that in the future when I look at it, I can see that it's underlined and I'll be able to know that there's notes to that, and I'll go back and look at the notes. For example, in Genesis 1:1, I'd written about how the world was once dark and empty, and sometimes our lives can feel like this. However, in the next verse, we see that God brings light to the earth, and in the same way, He can bring light to your life. So as you can see here, I've underlined the entire sentence to remind me when I read it that I've got notes on this somewhere. Also, I circle important words, but again, you don't have to do this. This is just what I do. Just to let you know, I am not an expert, and also a reminder that there is no right or wrong way to do this. Some people don't even like to highlight their Bibles at all, and that's okay. And some people love to highlight their Bible, that's also okay. And if you highlight the wrong verse or use the wrong colour, these things happen. There's no need getting worked up about it. Just relax, Jesus still loves you. Your Bible should be a place where you can learn more about God, and it should be a happy place and a worry-free zone. If you like this video and want to see more, subscribe, but it's up to you. You don't have to, it's your life. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.